Hello. Hello. It's time. It is almost time to call mom. But before we do that, because she's busy reading the paper, we are going to, at least I think she is, we're going to do a little video. Not a deep dive, but we are going to talk about an event that happens 6 months out from now. And I want to apologize. I think I've mentioned this in the video already, but I want to apologize because I know that when there's an eclipse that occurs, and if it happens right, like if you have degrees or if it's your house cusp line, you can feel that stuff 6 months in advance. And then if you have like planets, like multiple things on that spot, think about that, right? You got like your house cusp line and you got a planet here, you got a planet there, or an asteroid or whatever. The more things you have, the more energy it is, the more potent it is. So that means you're going to feel it even further out, more in advance. And so I've kind of, yeah, like I said, I wanted to just apologize for that because there's no, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's just figure it out that, yeah, now on, eclipse is going to come up earlier because it just makes sense. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Here is the eclipse for October of 2023. And by the way, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is all astrology. And yep, you can call me G. So I want to be able to pull the chart up so that we can we'll mark it up and we'll do just like some of the general overview of the eclipse for that time. Okay. And understanding the kind of eclipse that it is, south node, north node, what sign it's in, like, that'll give us a good heads up as to what we're going to be looking at. So let's get there. I think I have to do something else. Hold on. October 14th is the eclipse. But what kind of an eclipse is it? That's what we need to know. So let's find out. We're looking for the sun and the moon, okay? Because we'll know whenever there's an eclipse, all you got to do is look for the sun and the moon, right? If the sun and the moon are together, then this tells us it's a new moon eclipse. If the sun and the moon are apart, exactly opposing each other, creating what we call an opposition, then we know that's a full moon. Oppositions of the sun and the moon are full moons as long as they match the exact degrees. And that's how you get a full moon. They're an exact opposition of the sun and the moon. All right, so let's take a look in this chart. Let's see if we can find this, because honestly, I haven't seen this chart yet. This is just a quick overview, okay? Because I'm like behind schedule. I have to call mom. And it jumped right out. So you see it? Sign of Libra, the sun and the moon at 21 degrees. 21 degrees, the sun and the moon are together. It's a beginning. It's something new is starting. So it's a new moon, which makes this a solar eclipse. A solar eclipse is the same as a new moon. But the reason it's an eclipse as opposed to just a new moon is because it's close enough to the south node. And I'm going to point the south node out to you right here. You see that right there? South node at 24 degrees and 52 minutes. So technically a 25 degrees south node in the sign of Libra. Okay? So wherever the south node is, we know automatically at the opposite end of the south node is the north node. That is always how the nodes travel. They are a pair, a couple. They never travel alone. So imagine my pen, north node, south node at opposite ends. As it turns, so too does the other one. As it travels, so too does its partner, right? They're connected all the time, right? So this tells me this is a solar eclipse because it's new moon. If it was a lunar eclipse, we would have the sun at one end and we would have the moon at the opposite end, because that's what a full moon eclipse is. And that's a lunar eclipse. So let's stop right there because I'm getting too deep. So this is a solar eclipse. Okay. Now, If it's a solar eclipse, we know automatically that normally is something material and tangible in our world. It shows up in a physical way. We can see it. And the reason that's different than a lunar eclipse, because a lunar eclipse, you can feel it. It's more about your emotions. It's more within. It can be family and home and feelings, right? It can be stuff like that. But it's more emotional. It's watery, right? It's the moon. This is a solar eclipse. And so even though the moon is there, the sun is right next to it. And so this is feminine energy because it's the moon. And it's also masculine energy because that's the sun. And whenever the mother and the father get together, we can make a baby. And this is why this is the time of the metaphysicians. Right. Anybody who's a metaphysician, and I don't care whether you call yourself a metaphysician, a Merlin, what most religions, I know I've sat in ceremonies with Native American, Indigenous Americans, and they consider the new moon time the most powerful time. They usually typically only teach ceremonies for new moon with people who are very experienced in working and understand energy because it's so powerful. So it like doesn't matter what your culture or your religion, like it's not about praying to a planet or praying to, whatever. It's simply recognizing the power that is there and understanding that this is a moment of beginning. And for those of you who are gardeners, farmers, when do you plant? On a new moon. You never plant on a full moon when the sun and the moon are at opposite of each other. You don't believe me? Look it up in the Farmer's Almanac. I'm not making this stuff up, right? So it's just by people observing and paying attention, and the ocean's tides by the moon. So there's a power there, right? Whether we can gauge it and understand it, whatever, doesn't matter. It's there. It exists. So we respect it and honor it. I didn't say we had to, worship it, but we know it's there. And so it's a thing, right? So it's a time of manifesting in the sign of Libra. Significant one-on-one relationships. Business, personal, private, so marriage, partnerships, love. What's that show? The Love. Oh, I was going to say The Love Boat. That wasn't what I was thinking. There was I heard the Love Boat music, but then I was seeing the game show. Was there a game show called The Love Connection or some shit? Like there was a combination of love factors coming through. So that definitely makes this really private, apparently, like love connection. And anyhow, but there's a catch. There's a catch, right? I know a lot of people might be listening to this and they'd be like all excited, like, oh yeah, I'm hoping, I'm praying. I've been getting a lot of comments of people who are like, God, I haven't had a relationship in so long. I've been single forever and I haven't had a romantic relationship in a long time, right? And then I've got some people who are like, oh, I could see, having a romantic relationship and then like being a business partnership type thing, like mixing business and pleasure together, right? So here's the deal. It is a new beginning. And what I love about this new beginning is that we also look at Mercury. Does anybody see Mercury? You know what Mercury looks like? That's Mercury, the little planet that looks, the little glyph that looks kind of like a Martian, only because it's got the antennas on it. That's Mercury. And then Pallas Athena, these are thinkers. Pallas Athena and Mercury are thinkers. Pallas Athena is the strategist. Like she's, yes, feminine energy, right? She can plot and plan. She can lay out the map and she can be like, okay, this is a good time to do this. These are the measurements. These are the coordinates. Like Pallas Athena, a strategist, right? She's like a general in the army. Mercury also in Libra. Yeah, these are all in Libra. So this is business. This is being diplomatic. This is also the court system and the scales of justice, right? Lawyers, right? Mercury, information, news, talking and communicating, and the new beginning, partnerships, the new beginning, partnerships. Because it's a new beginning, we have to recognize the South Node piece. And the South Node is a release and a let go. So this is a South Node release and a let go, solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse with relationships. And that South Node is in Libra. So we're releasing and letting go of some sort of a partnership, significant partnership. Releasing and letting go. If you want more details in your chart to figure this out for yourself, look for the degrees, right? This south node's at 2452. So a couple degrees before, a couple degrees after. The eclipse degree is at 21. Couple degrees before, couple degrees after. So that would be 19, 20, possibly 19. You might need a house, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, we'll say. Okay. So those are a big deal. Even your Mercury at 17 is pretty much included part of this eclipse. Mercury at 17 in Libra, partnerships. And then that Pallas Athena at 14, the strategist, the thinker, right? South Node is the past. So we're releasing a relationship from the past. Something that's outplayed, something that has no more use, something that has outlived its life, something where there's no more, the fairness is gone. It's not equal anymore, right? It's not peaceful. There's no harmony. We're kind of done. Okay. So it is a release to get a new beginning. A release to get a new beginning. And so that is your little sample, your little taste of the next eclipse in the sign of Libran energy. You got any questions? Comment below. You need your chart? Comment below. You need anything that has to do with astrology that I can do a quick look for you? Not a problem. Comment below. I will help you out in any way I can. If it's something that requires more time, then I'll be honest with you and I'll say that would require more time. Okay. But first, comment below under the video so I know who you are, so I can recognize the name that I see, and we'll start a conversation. Let me know what you need. Let me know how I can help you. And don't forget, every Saturday, 9 p.m., we do the Starry Night Live. You come into the star room where all the stars show up, and you are the star. We look at charts. We look at your chart. Okay. So I will see you then. And if you don't make it, then I guess I'll see you in the next. What's going on with the lights? God bless it. What the hell, man? Like, what is going on? Okay. It's a little bit better. Is it better? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.